And we are live. What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to Beyond the 90. We have got Ty here, who is a massive Man United fan, obviously. So how are you doing, mate? How are things at the moment?
Things are really good, thank you. I just want to say first of all, obviously, Beyond the United, LCFC and Neil, thank you so much for having me on. It's a pleasure. It's great to see what you're doing, what we're doing, and what loads of people in the football podcasting world are doing as well, especially since this lockdown. So I just want to say it's great because I've met some great people throughout all this, and again, you're one of them. So now I'm feeling really good, ready to get into this FA Cup quarter-final clash where hopefully we can take the win.
Yeah, it's gonna. Do you know what? I'm really looking forward to it, to be honest. But yeah, if you're watching, if you've got any questions for Ty or myself, make sure you leave them down below. Make sure you like, subscribe, all that good stuff, and make sure to check out Never a Foul and Ty as well on Twitter and Trafford Tunnel as well. So
Perfect,
great. Let's just get straight into it in terms of. Obviously, the match we're going to talk about is about the AC Milan and the 1-0 win. I mean, there was a lot of people writing you off for that one. A lot of people, I was checking on Twitter, and there's a lot of people writing you off. But, I mean, you kind of proved everybody wrong. And Ollie just seems to turn it, when it matters, he turns up. And that's all you want at the end of the day.
100%. It's so funny because I was talking to my friends this week, and in the first leg, I'm an honest fan, by the way. If you ever tune into my stuff, I'm an honest fan. I'm not going to say we're going to win this and do all that. I just speak for that game and that game only, and we move on. But the first leg, completely outplayed. I thought, oh my word, like we're in trouble in the second leg. It gave me sort of the vibes of 2007 when Gilardino scored and we lost like 3-0 in the Champions League to them. I thought if they score first, it's game over. However, with the injuries coming back and Manchester United not losing in, I think, 14 months away from home. It is now. I just thought we could get a result here. Like I looked at their starting lineup, and that's what gave me confidence. It wasn't actually Manchester United; it was actually their starting lineup that gave me confidence. I don't think they started the players they should have. Maybe like with Rebic, Ibrahimovic, Rafael Leao. They sort of had no pace up front, so we could just press high. We sat high, dominated most of the ball, and it was more a game of frustration. It's funny, I tweeted at halftime, this game's made for Paul Pogba. Don't make the change in the 70th minute because Ollie never makes subs. Don't make it in the 80th minute, make it now. He did. 2 minutes later, we're 1-0 up. I thought it was a good performance back to front. And I know you want to talk to Maguire, who used to play for you guys, but I think he deserves huge credit, which we'll get to. But it's a massive win. And that's part one of job 2 done for this week.
Okay, we'll probably get on to part 2 in a second. But again, coming from that, I know that Ollie doesn't rotate his team that much, and how you guys are playing, it tends to be the same 4-2-3-1, similar kind of tactics, apart from the low block against Man City as well.
Mm-hmm.
I just wanted to get your thoughts. Obviously, you've played obviously really well, but one of the things that we found is that because we've got such a smaller squad, it completely tired us, to be honest. It completely tired us at the moment. So how tired do you think Man United are going to be coming into this match? Because away, again, you played away, now you're coming away to our ground as well. It's not going to be easy on the guys' legs.
I'm worried. I was looking at your record. I think you haven't beaten us going back now further than 2016. I think we actually play pretty well against Leicester, if I'm totally honest. Yeah, I'm looking at results now. We drew to you guys we beat you away last year. The year before that, we beat you 1-0, and then we drew to you 2-2 the year before that in 2017. So yeah, and we beat you 3-0 we beat you 2-1 in 2016. So historically, I think we have a good record against Leicester. I think we play quite well against you on the counter-attack, but I'm worried tomorrow. The reason I'm worried is there was a game you played, and I think I spoke to you about it. You came on our podcast, and I think you might have got beaten. You was tired. I think you guys had played Europa League. Your squad was really short. You know what game I'm on about, don't you? I can't remember what it was.
Yeah, it was it Prague, where we got knocked out by Prague.
Yeah, and then you played Arsenal, didn't you?
Yeah, and we got obliterated there.
Yeah,
and Arsenal weren't great, honestly, but we were just dead.
Yeah, you were so poor, and I was like, that's Leicester on their worst day. You've had now a week's rest. We've played on Thursday against a tricky AC Milan game. You've got to remember, it's a big pitch as well. And it went all the way to the 90th minute. We didn't make many changes, if I'm totally honest. I'm worried going into Sunday. The only positive I can look at it is Martial, Cavani, a doubt, so they could be back. Van der Beek could be back. And he said Pogba's not fit enough to play the whole game, but I reckon he might be fit enough to start and play 60 minutes. The worry for me is, does he change formation? Because you guys have been playing that 3-5-2 with Castagna and Pereira, obviously Fofana, Soyuncu and Evans at the back. Do we match you up and play like maybe Telles comes in, Bailly comes in, and then we just go a bit more assured in midfield? Or do we stick with a 4-2-3-1? I think that's an interesting one. Like I was on a podcast on Thursday after the game against AC Milan, and they said, the boys I was on with, don't change our formation to like fit in for Leicester. We should go there and play our game because we're the team that they should be more worried about. Like we go there and make them adapt to us. We don't adapt to them. But I also think we've played 90 minutes on Thursday, 2 days rest. It's literally yesterday and today, and they're back on the pitch tomorrow. So I don't know. And you guys play with high energy. Brendan Rodgers, like one thing like people got to give him credit for is you lot play with high energy. Like you lot don't really run out of gas. I know it gets 75th minute because you have been playing a lot of energy. But if you get the goals by then, the game's killed and you can make a few changes. So I think it's going to be a very, very interesting matchup, even though we have a good record at you guys. What do you think? Would you rather see us come with a 4-2-3-1, or do you think you'd be more worried if we matched you up with a 3-5-2?
So if we take it, so to be honest, we're probably going to play a 3-5-2 because of the lack of wingers we've got at the squad, at the team. Harvey Barnes out injured, so it makes sense to go for a 3-5-2. However, I think historically, obviously with Man United now, the history that you guys have had, now Ollie just seems to have changed that and goes, right, I'll adapt to the team. He did that when you came to our ground for the 2-2 draw.
Yeah,
he played
Leipzig away, knocked us out.
Yeah. And it was one of those things where I think you had the more opportunities in the game, but you just couldn't finish. There was times, I remember, where Rashford hit the post, Martial hit the post, and you're relying on the likes of Bruno Fernandes with that goal to kind of pull you through with Cavani coming on. So I think it will be an interesting match. However, Leicester teams seem to turn it up against the big squads. I mean, something that gets kind of overlooked at the moment. But I think a lot of fans, I think Amar puts it as well. Our record is terrible, but a lot of Leicester fans are feeling quite confident about this one. I personally think it's going to be a really tough game. But I'm really looking forward to it because we've not got the squad depth that you've got. But when we're playing once a week now, that's we can go and come at teams. And I'm sorry, man, I forgot what your original question was.
I love it. That's right. It's good vibes, good energy. Thank you, man. Was it that do you think you would prefer us to play a 4-2-3-1 or adapt our formation? Do you think you'd be more worried? Which one would you be more worried about for us?
Do you know what? If you look at the different formations we've played, I think it's been picked on Match of the Day only recently. We've played diamonds, we've played 4 at the back, 3 at the back, we've played 2 up front of recent, of Vardy and Nacho, and that seems to be firing. So whatever formation he puts out, without being too cocky, I think we can do something with that. And that's the kind of thing that Leicester are on. I mean, yes, we played against a poor Sheffield United team, but we still put 5 past them, and like that's something, you know. And just as we know, we've both put 9 past what's it called, Southampton, you know. So you know what it's like where you've got a poor team, but you've got to go and do the business, and that's what we did in that match, and that's what you did, and it kind of shows you that yes, they were a poor team, but you've got to go and put the effort in and smash them, and that's kind of where I'm coming about as well. Yeah,
I've got 2 questions I wanted to ask you. So the first one is, are you happy, or do you see it as a blessing that you're out of the Europa League? And the second one is, are you happy with obviously Kelechi Iheanacho? I know it's been a while since he's been at City and it didn't really hit form there. He had spells. You guys, he's sort of been in and out of the squad. Do you think he's now nailing himself down as a full-on starter, or do you think when Barnes and that come back, he'll be back on a rotation basis again?
I mean, if somebody scores a hat-trick, they have to be in the squad. I think we've got 8 Premier League hat-tricks in total. 4 of them are Vardy's. I think one of them's Mahrez. Now Nacho's up there. I think a couple of more. I think we've got Stan Collymore and somebody else. But again, some old school Leicester people. So just from that, I mean, you have to start him. The thing is, they play like a 2 up front, but he drops into a number 10. And I think in that position, if you look at the likes of, you've got Matic, obviously Pogba, Fernandes, and that, I think that is going to be where the game is going to be won in that 100%, midfield. 100%. Whoever, because we've got Ndidi, and I think in the reverse fixture, well, in the 2-2, Ndidi turns up massively for the top games, and I know a lot of people rate him, but he really turns up. So I do fancy ourselves because Hans played the Nigerian R9.
Nigerian, I love that.
But yeah, it's all good. It's all good. I think again, it will be winning the midfield. I want to come on to that. Obviously, Fernandes has played game in, game out, and I don't know how, but he just doesn't look tired. But one player, obviously Fernandes, but Rashford, again, when he came to us, he didn't. His levels were dropping, and I get it because you can't really rest him. But is that one of the issues that you think Leicester can exploit?
Yeah, I think, first of all, it's poor that Rashford's been called up for the England squad, by the way. He needs to stay at Carrington for the 2 weeks and get some rest. It's so funny as well because Pogba got brought on for him. And it's like, if he didn't have that niggle, would Pogba have got brought on? Because Ollie doesn't make subs at half-time. So I don't know. But anyway, it works as a blessing. Rashford should not be starting in this game on Sunday. He needs a rest. I'm thinking a bit more long-term rather than, let's play him for this game, and then he gets worse, and then he's out for a long period after the international break. If Manchester United can't win a game because Rashford's not on the pitch, I'm sorry, but that's shambolic. That's poor. and he's not even our best player. So that's how I look at it. We don't have to we shouldn't have to rely on Rashford to keep winning games. So I think we've got enough depth in sort of that area. Maybe if Martial and Cavani come back to rotate in that field. Fernandes, it's a funny one because I'm a big fan of Fernandes. I think football fans are in general because of the numbers he gets. But when you watch him week in, week out, oh, Neil, he is so frustrating at times. Yeah, like he's just, how do I want to put it? He gets goals and assists. And if you just remember teletext back in the day, you're probably old enough. Yeah. So you used to go out for the day, you come back, see teletext, you'll be like, oh my God, Fernandes has scored again. Phil, he scored again. Like, and you think, oh my God, he must have played well. But when he gets the ball, he's so erratic. Like for a number 10, this is how I compare. You know, when people say, oh, De Bruyne or Fernandes, don't ever compare the two and don't disrespect De Bruyne like that, because one is a player that impacts games. One is a player that controls games. De Bruyne couldn't control games. Fernandes impacts games. He gets the balls in like little moments in the pockets and he either picks out a good pass or he has a shot on goal and he scored. But you'll never see Man United. When do you ever see Man United have like that Scholes or Carrick control? We don't control games ever because we've got no one that can do that. And the thing is about Fernandes, and it worries me, is Manchester United in general. It's not really his fault, but he presses really well. And he presses on set up both our goals on box day. Yeah, there you go. Exactly.
I remember.
So come to.
Just going to go on to that, but yeah.
Yeah, and basically he like, it's good for Fernandes. He presses so well and he runs around. He's got a lot of energy, but because no one else really does that with him, I find that because he's pressed so much throughout the game, say when it gets to maybe a key moment of a game is normally 60th minute to the 90th minute. When he gets the ball by then, he's pressed and so tired that when he actually gets the ball, he hasn't really got the power or energy to generate what he wants to do. It's like his mind goes a bit tired. So like he sees a pass, he's like, I want to pass it there, but he can't actually get it there. It's weird. And he gives the ball away, just like LCFC boy just said there. I don't know if that's your co-host and stuff like that.
Yeah, he's one of our, who does the channel.
Oh,
well,
wicked. Big up yourself, man. But yeah, he gives the ball away so much. And that is a big problem for me. And with a team that's so quick in transition, I wouldn't say Ndidi so much, but when Tielemans gets the ball, he literally just looks like play it forward. And if you can get your players springing, and like you said, Iheanacho in them sort of pockets, when you say midfield, that is my biggest worry. And you've spoken it there, and I wanted to touch on it now. If you go back to one of the games in lockdown, right? I don't know if you watched it. Man United played Spurs on their first game out of lockdown, and we drew 1-1 away from home. Bergwijn scored. And he was running at Maguire.
First game, wasn't it? Is it his first game?
Yeah, first game. Yeah, so right. He picks up the ball in that show role where indeed he passed it to him last week and he shot against Sheffield United, got his hat-trick. Bergwijn picks up the same ball there and runs at our defence. If you can get in between them pockets of, like, say if it's Matic, I think Matic will start, Matic and Maguire, and get running at our defence, that is a big issue for me. I've always said we need a defensive midfielder. Everyone knows that. But if you can just get in that little fine line and get run at, Maguire does not want to be ran at. Lindelof does not want to be ran at. Matic does not want to be ran at. And if you can get in naturally just slitting in them pockets, I think that's where you're going to be a major threat. I think Wan-Bissaka is very solid in defensive wise. I think Luke Shaw's in the form of his life. Yes, he might get down the wings a few times, obviously Pereira and Castagna. But if you really want to exploit us, I think it's Tielemans feeding the lines in between these little pockets here. And Iheanacho's got to get in that space. And also, that frees up Vardy. People all of a sudden have been talking about Iheanacho all week. And I'm like, you're still forgetting. I know Vardy's 34, but him now being in this form gives Man United two problems. It's not just like stop Vardy and stop kind of Leicester. If Iheanacho gets in them pockets, Vardy's going to be running off the back of them, and it's going to be really challenging for 90 minutes.
I think so. And it's a good point you mentioned, because obviously Leicester fans, we pick up on this, and the fact that he got 2 assists. I mean, something that like the likes of Bamford and Kane always gets mentioned when it comes to that. When it comes to his work off the ball, his assists and that. But Vardy, I think, doesn't get that same mention. And I mean, he was 33 when he got the Golden Boot last year. It wasn't the best season, but he's still doing bits and getting 23 goals in season for a 33-year-old is still really, really good in my opinion. Somebody that actually broke all roles as when we were playing 3-5-2, we had Ricardo. He's out injured for this game as well, so I don't know if you're going to want it. Yeah, trust me.
So I'm guessing, what is it? Luke Thomas?
Maybe Luke Thomas, maybe Mark Albrighton on that right wing back position. So it's probably somewhere you're going to want to exploit as a Man United fan as well. And to be perfectly honest with you, I mean, it's one of those things where this has been our season. So it's not been picked up. Liverpool have been talked about all the time in terms of injuries. I mean, a couple of weeks back we had It was again for this match. Barnes is still out. Maddison is still out, and we still put 5 goals away. I mean, it's something that we just don't get looked at, and we're cool. We'd rather stay under the radar.
Yeah.
And somebody's put, I'd rather Ricardo takes it out, because I get it, because he's coming back from a 9-month injury, and I don't know if you've any had long players for that. It's a long process, and we're thinking. I've tweeted out from the account that if we just kind of ride this year out, 8 games, cool. Next season he's going to come back firing, and that's what I want for him personally.
And hopefully James Justin. I'm in Luton now, and James Justin from here.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So you know Justin well again.
Yeah,
so
very good player, man.
Interested to hear about your perspective from Luton then, in terms of obviously how he's done and his progression. Do you think, because again he came into our squad and we thought, okay, that'll be quite cool, but he's hit levels that nobody thought he could, man. But I don't know if that's different from your perspective in terms of Luton.
Very good at Luton. Very good at Luton. I did think when he stepped up, he would be one of them ones that would be a squad player. I definitely did not think he would progress like this. So I thought he would progress like this, but not so quick. Literally, he's robust, he's strong, he's tenacious, he gets up and down, his final ball's getting better. And what I love about him is that he doesn't care who he's playing. Like, he doesn't think, oh, I'm playing Adama Traore today, or I'm playing Aubameyang. Right? He just plays football because he loves football. He doesn't care who the opponent is. And I think he's been a quality player for you this season. I was gutted for him because I actually thought he had an outside chance of getting into the Euros. The most brilliant thing that I think you have going forward from him is his ability to play so well as a utility player left and right. You've got now Castagna, Pereira, and now I'm not going to talk about Luke Thomas or Albright. I'm going to say Pereira, Castagna, and Justin. To have 3 quality wing backs like that, where I could say 2 of them, Castagna and Justin, can both play left or right, and then you've got Ricardo, who's a very solid right back. Going into next season, if you get all them back, say by October time, hopefully, touch wood, I think it's exciting times for Leicester. One of them could potentially leave, but it's not like, oh my God, because now you're going to have 2, which not even a lot of clubs have 3 top wing backs. So I think it's been a brilliant signing, man. I love him. I love him.
Yeah, and we love him too over in Leicester, just for the versatility of him. And obviously saying he can play wing back, he's played both sides of a back 3 as well. Like, and it's something that he's become a fan favorite as well.
Luton
Cafu. I think that was definitely one at Luton they were saying, but I think we've kind of taken it on a little bit, and he's just been we got it. But again, it's one of those things where you just got to, again, we had our moment to kind of grieve about it, and you've got, right, we've got other players that are going to come in and fill in them positions. Obviously, we've got a few players out for this game, but it is what it is at the moment. But in terms of obviously Ollie and we'll move it on to Maguire, because obviously this year has been a year of up and down, and especially for Man United, and he epitomizes that, in my opinion. I mean, the whole thing with England and the red cards, the misses he's had, but also the great performances. I mean, where do you start? Because he's had everything this season.
God, what a year. On top of that, he's played the most minutes in the Premier League or even in European football this year. It's incredible. The guy, I think he's missed 1 game, which was I can't remember what it was. The second leg against Sociedad when we were like 4-0 up, 5-0 up. That's the only game he's missed. He literally plays game after game. And do you know what I'm going to have to say on here now? And it's the first podcast I'm going to say it without being on like my own. And it's that we're quick to criticize him. We've got the same energy to praise him. We've got 4 clean sheets in a row in the Premier League under Ollie for the first time since he's arrived. We've then gone to Milan away and got a clean sheet, which on paper, I don't think a lot of us or people in general expected us to get a clean sheet. We thought we might go through, but they might score. I think, me personally, when he arrived, he can't help the price tag, and the price tag is always going to be there, no matter what. If he was signed for 35, it's a massive price tag. You lot made obviously millions from that. If he's 80 million, what's Ndidi going to be? But exactly. But in general, the price tag's always been there for him, so he's had a pressure to consistently perform straight away. Ollie also made him captain instantly. I thought that was the wrong decision. I really did. I thought he's been relegated 4 times. He weren't even captain at Leicester. What's he really shown as in the winning mentality of the United DNA to say, right, I should be United captain? For me, Manchester United, he's not, basically, put it this way, this is the best way I'll put it when I start. He signed for Man United, so it's like Daniel James, Wan-Bissaka. I put them all in that same bracket, right?
Mm-hmm.
What
same
one of them
signed as well, weren't they?
Say again, sorry?
But they all signed the same year as well.
Yeah, I think they were. Yeah. And when you look at it, what one of them is used to wanting to win or win every game, every week? None of them. Leicester, out of all of them, are the best side, but they're not expected to go and win every game. Whereas Manchester United, we want to win every single game. So for him to come in and then he's got to change his mentality. So is James, so is Wan-Bissaka. They've got to now expect to win every game. It's a different type of pressure now. So I was unsure when we made him captain. But to his credit, in the last few weeks, he seems to be growing. And what I'm noticing is that he's a different type of captain to what maybe other top 6 clubs have. He's not the most sort of authoritative, if that's a word, but yeah, authoritative as in, right,
I know what you mean,
like, everyone should be listening to Maguire. However, I think what he does maybe in terms of off the pitch and the social side, like bringing people together, organizing team days, and like being there when new signings come in, he helps them adjust quickly. I think he's quite a good presence in terms of that aspect, and I just think now it's time for him to kick on. He's had a rocky start. People have seen his frailties, but I think right now he's in good form. I'm not going to say that, oh my God, Maguire this, Maguire that, because I'm not an overreactive person, but he's been better. And that's what we want from him. A Manchester United centre-back should be good and consistent in most games. It's the only problem for me is that, yes, Lindelof is okay. Bailly, I absolutely love. He's my favourite centre-back at the club, but he's not always fit. The problem lies here. We signed a centre-back for 80 million that should sort our problems out. But it hasn't, because we've signed an 80 million defender, and now we're all thinking, right, we need someone to partner him. So really, Man United kind of, you could say, got the transfer wrong, because we could have signed a centre-back who was quicker and who would have sorted that problem out. And then we said, right, we've got someone and Lindelof or Bailly, but we've actually got Maguire now, and now it's find a partner for Maguire. So it's 80 million.
I think the issue was as well is that I think because obviously this transfer rumor has been running on for like 2 years that he was going to go to you guys, and it eventually happened. So we were kind of accepting after a while. I think the part of the issue was he was English and you didn't have enough English people in your team. So it was like, so that's why we went 80 million, take him. If you want him, here's the price. So so you guys went, okay, we'll pay him then. And that was, I think, the issue, that you needed somebody English in that case. And there wasn't really anybody available. So we could charge whatever we wanted.
Okay, I got a question for you. Maguire right now, if looking at your centre-backs, Fofana, Soyuncu, Evans, probably Justin in the back 3, for example, where would Maguire fit in your rankings of them 4 now?
He doesn't start. Legit,
wow, there you go. Damning. That's damning. And that's the Manchester United captain. Why, by the way?
And honestly, we thought coming into the season, we were like, the season when we sold him, we're thinking, we tried to sign the likes of Tarkowski, Ake, when he was at Bournemouth, and everybody went, right, 60 mil, because they saw what we did. We know we got the cash up front, go and sort it. And we had Soyuncu in, and we were thinking, this guy's a hothead. And this is the problem. Leicester can get a player in, train him up, and bear in mind, Maguire, we knew we were going to sell Maguire, so we bought in him before, had a year to spend with the squad, and we knew he was going to give mistakes away, but he was anything but. And literally at the moment, we've got, you were saying about the three wing backs, we've got 3 solid defenders. Evans starts, he's our like number 1 guy, as a Man United fan, how good he is and just solid. Fofana and is 19, but Soyuncu I think is about 24 as well now. So you can play them two together. So you can play Evans and the other one. So it's competition for places, as you know, it is brilliant. And again, I think we're seeing here, Evans was a centre back. The year we sold him, he wasn't actually as good as we thought he was. What happened is, because he had obviously a magnificent year in 2018 in the World Cup, price goes up. We saw it with Chilwell. The second half of the season kind of fell off a cliff. And we've seen that. I was on a Chelsea fan channel, and I was saying the same thing happened there. The same thing after January, he's slumping down. And I said, well, it is what it is at the moment. But again, people are saying Evans is a leader. Again, people.
And you've got to remember, though, Maguire was excelling in a 3 at the back. Now he's playing in the back 4. So he's getting, you're seeing his exposures become exploited. 3 at the back, everyone can look good in the 3 at the back, and that's what he was playing at Leicester, and that's what he was playing when he was winning all them headers for England at the World Cup, and it looks all fancy. But you're playing in the back 4 here now, different ball game. And the worst thing, what's Maguire's worst attribute? Defending space. He's a defender, right? If you see space, he's like, I've got to run into it. It's like, no, you don't. He gives away so many goals, or we can see so many from him running into space. He doesn't like space, basically. He's one of them defenders, like proper Sunday league, wants everyone back. He looks so good when there's, like, if he was at Crystal Palace, he'll look like Lucio, because he's heading the ball out. He wants to sit deep. He's now playing a higher line.
Well, Man City every game. Smashed it,
Man City, perfect. When we sit deep and we're defending, you've got to head out and do all the I will call it the rugged stuff. He's brilliant at that. But when you've got to play on a high line, you've got to then sort of mark space and everything. He's nervous, man. He's nervous. And I think that's his biggest downfall. And against, obviously, Leicester, we're going to have to mark a bit of space, and we're interested to see how Nacho pulls him out. But in general, just my point on the 3-5-2, that's where Maguire excels. And now he's in the back four. It's a different ball game, no matter what.
Okay, we'll be interested to see again who you've got as centre back. Because is Baye fit? Because again, he comes on, looks good, then he's injured for like 2 weeks. Because that's the only way you're going to have a three at the back. So I want to say that you played three at the back against us, and you had Maguire, Lindelof, and Baye all playing together. And that was how we couldn't penetrate as much space.
We did, and I'll be honest with you, we drew 2-2 in that game, and we should have beat you. I think we should have won that game at the end of the season. Yeah. It's going to be interesting. Baye was left out of the squad against Milan, and I don't know if it was because he's injured or not, but I've actually seen a report come out this morning that Baye is very unhappy that he got left out of the squad, and that he reportedly might be looking to leave. So it's going to be interesting to see if Ollie throws him back in for this game. I personally think he will. The reason being that is pace. Baye against Vardy, and you probably have to admit this, Baye has Vardy. He does.
Yeah.
In terms of, I know, but it's funny. I say that, but Vardy scored against us last time, and the cross came in and like just tapped it.
He just needs one opportunity, just like Bruno. He needs one opportunity, and he takes it, just like Bruno did against us in the same game.
Yeah, I want Baye thrown back in. I do for this game, especially with Nacho, and he's not the slowest. He's a weird sort of player. He's got like sort of burst of acceleration, but not long pace. But I think Baye has to play. He plays well against Leicester.
Yeah, it will be interesting to see what happens, because I think it's one of the things where it used to be, perceived, especially in 2016, you mark Vardy out the game, you mark Mahrez out the game, you're done. Now, obviously, with the fully fit squad, you've got the likes of Ricardo bombing on, you've got Castagna bombing on, you've got Maddison behind that, Tillemans, and Didi that's doing...
Is Maddison back?
He's not back, but I'm saying with the fully fit squad.
Okay.
But but however, we played two wing backs and two number 10s against Sheffield United, and that's normally we had Perez, who's again, if you kind of tread on his feet, he'll kind of become a bit more quiet. He's one of them players. So it will be interesting to see this season, because I'm going to have to see what happens, because I'm looking forward to it. Like, I'm buzzing for tomorrow's game. I think we both are, because I think with the tactics that both players have, Brendan Rodgers has leveled up his tactics massively as well. So I'm thinking from them two perspectives, it's going to be a great game tomorrow.
Yeah, I really think it is. Like I said, it's part 1 of 2 done for us. The international break's coming up, and I think with Manchester United, a lot of fans, the board, the players, they want trophies. And I actually said that this is the biggest week of our season. No matter what, if we had got out to AC Milan, which one was realistic and was a possibility, if we then went to Leicester on Sunday, 2 days rest, and gone out of that, which was also a possibility, I'm being realistic here, we could have been in big trouble, because we would have gone into the international break, 2 weeks rest, no cup competitions left, and just trying to compete for top 4 in the Premier League. Oh, there you go, it's 100th game. Oh, I'm a bit superstitious there.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I didn't want to know that. But I think
you're welcome to be on the 90.
I think it could have been damaging for our season. So the fact that we're through now in the Europa League is a plus, but to go into that international break, getting a few players back, but also being through in the FA Cup would be huge, because we would be stronger coming out of the international break. We're then in the semi-finals. We're then in the quarterfinals of a very winnable Europa League, and we're second in the league. Would I take it at the beginning of the season? Yes, I would. So tomorrow is huge for Manchester United. I don't want to go through in one, but go out in the other, because at the end of the day, to come out this international break with 2 competitions still left and top 4 there, I think is a massive plus. And especially like with the players coming back. What I wanted to ask you is, in regards to your season, how do you, what are your current expectations? What do you want from now? Because there's the FA Cup, of course, which would be lovely to win. The top 4, you're kind of you're there at the moment, but there's a few games. If you want to just get through this little next after international break, you want to come out of that just quite strong, basically, and then you're finishing lines there. What do you want from your season for Leicester?
So again, when I was listening to you say, we can compete in 3 competitions, I was like, wow, imagine the day that we can say that, because it's one of those things where the expectation for you guys is so high compared to us. Like, I mean, remember, we only came into the Premier League in 14-15. Like, this is the 6th, 7th season we're here. So there's part of us, and a lot of the older fan base are like, it's still a blessing to become in the Premier League at the moment. So from that, I think a lot of us are hoping for top 4, because it looks like, I know you've got an easier running. However, with five. I think we've got 5 points between the next top 4 positions.
So yeah, so you're on 56 and West Ham in 5th are on 48. So you're 8 points clear.
So 8 points clear.
Wow,
Is that same
I did not
difference?
know that. That gap's big. I thought it was maybe 5. Yeah, honestly, it is. They've got a game in hand, but
game in hand. So let's maximum say 5. But even then, do you see what I mean? It's one of those things. Yeah. So that's going to be a tricky run. However, I still feel confident we're going to do stuff at the moment. So looking forward to it. I think top 4 is probably the most priority. However, Brendan Rodgers, I think I found something at the moment where he said when he came into the club, I want to find it exactly the quote before I verbatim him. But he wanted to say that one of the things he wanted to do is win trophies. So let me see if I can find it. Yeah. Probably didn't know that was about young players. Never mind. But again, that's what he's good at. He's good at training up young players as well. But it was one of the things he said is I came in here to win trophies and get European football. And we're kind of proving that season on season. We normally sold a big player. I think this season Rodgers come out and said, I don't want to do that. We're just changing it slowly. And it has been a poor season. I mean, if you look at it, I've spoken to Man United fans and said, well, it's been not a great season for us. We're still second. It shows it's not been a good season. So
what, a Man United fan said that?
Yeah.
What? It's not been a great season for us. We're second. Like we're not better.
Yeah.
We're not better than Man City.
But again, the expectations of you guys are so high as well.
They need to forget it.
Yeah.
Sorry, just to quickly say, their expectations are back when Ferguson left. Let me just put it out there. We haven't qualified for back-to-back Champions League spots since Fergie's left. So whoever thinks that needs a reality check, not in a bad way. But we're not 2008 when we won the double. We're not that anymore. So there's no expectation here. We've got to go on right now. So
yeah, exactly. And you guys still in 3 competitions. It'll be interesting to see. But again, a decent run in the FA Cup. If we can beat you guys, then who will? I think that's a good statement. Say if we get this semis, then finals. I mean that'll be perfect on our end. And pretty much a top 4 is. But for Leicester fans, the main thing, because we tried to play Europa League and this, so the 3 of us, and who's LCFC Boyer that's commented, James who also does stuff here, we predicted at the beginning of the season if we could finish 8th. So one predicted 8th, I predicted 10th, and I think James predicted 12th. So we genuinely, because of the squad that we had and how small it was, trying to compete on our front, as you saw recently, we got drilled into the ground, and we didn't have enough strength. And just because we tried to expand from this to this in a season to compete with 2 competitions, it didn't happen. So do you know what? I think again the fact that we're coming into this as confident as we are against the Man United side, all things considered, still just a point above us. It's looking great. But yeah, man, I'll say it one more time. But I really A, appreciate you coming on, and B, tomorrow's game, I think it's going to be a rowdy one for sure.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a really good game. I think first goal is pretty crucial, actually. I think for the way both teams play, I think both teams, if you could pick their ideal style, both like counter-attacking. So whoever gets the first goal gets the opportunity to penetrate the counter-attack more and at least spaces in behind. So I think it's going to be interesting. I think there'll be an early goal as well. It's on BBC. It's 5 o'clock. A lot of people will be tuning in, having their Sunday dinner.
Oh, BBC?
Yeah, BBC.
Oh, okay, that's got
goals in it. That's what I just got a weird feeling. It's got goals in it. Do you know, by the way, does it go extra time?
I have no idea. I'm not going to lie.
I don't know. I think it was the Carabao Cup that went straight penalties. I believe there's got to be extra time in this, but I don't know.
I think it might not be because it's English football and English. I don't. To be fair, mate, I don't know. To be honest, but that penalty shootout is always we've lost. I think in the FA Cup twice to Man City, so about the same position. In penalties. So yeah, man. Anyway, Tyrone, again, massively appreciate you coming on once again. Where can the people find you and your podcast as well?
Perfect. Thank you so much for having me on. LFC Boy, you're in the comments as well. It's great to see what you're doing with Neil. Keep up the good work, and I'm happy to help you out anytime. And vice versa, getting you on my show as well for game previews. So yeah, you can find me Tyrone MC __ on Twitter. I'm also part of Never a Foul, which you can find Manchester United, Chelsea, Arsenal, Spurs, and a City podcast on there with more to come, hopefully over the season and next seasons. And I also do Trafford Tunnel as well, which is dedicated to Manchester United. So yeah, make sure you hit the like and subscribe button. And if you can subscribe to me, you can already subscribe to Neil. That's what I always say. We're both here. So no, it's been brilliant. Having me on. I really appreciate it. Can I just ask you quickly for your score prediction before we go?
I still think 2-0. And you probably think
Okay.
I'm mad. You probably think I'm mad, and I stand by my team at the moment. If we
Yeah.
again, there's a few of us on this that don't like to do score predictions, but I'm like, well, if it is cool, I fall on my sword. Ah, well, it's just a bit of fun at the end of the day.
Yeah, yeah,
So yeah,
exactly.
I still think 2-0. What about yourself?
I'm gonna go 2-1 United. Yeah, I think it's gonna be a gritty game. I think it'll be a goal in like the last 20 minutes that wins it. I think
Yeah.
it'll be open. But yeah, it'll be a brilliant game. And you know what? If we go out to you guys, I'm gonna say it now. I want you guys to go on and win it because you're a good club.
Yeah, let's hope so. But yeah, but again, thank you so much. Make sure you follow Tyrone on his socials on Never a Foul podcast. I'll make sure to leave the link in the description for you as well. And thank you, everybody. And we'll see you for the next video. So goodbye.
Thank you.